So what is the right way to handle who pays on a first date? This is a question a lot of men wrestle with. Some of you guys feel like you have to pay to prove yourselves. Some of you guys go 50-50. And some of you just leave it up to the woman, even if somewhere in your gut you're not comfortable with doing that. Guys are dancing around this topic and are too afraid to make a decision and end up letting the woman take the lead, which is, we all know, is never a good idea. Well, you don't need to tiptoe around this anymore. I'm going to show you exactly how I handle these situations and what's worked for me and the men I've coached. So by the end of this video, you will know how to confidently lead the date. You're going to know how to handle any resistance and turn potentially awkward moments into real attraction. So a viewer left a comment the other day on a different video that I did saying that he now always goes 50-50 on dates. And his reasoning was this. He says, before I used to pay for the girl, but I find I have 100% more success when I go 50-50. I spent 20 bucks once on a fancy salad and drinks and never saw her again. Girls interpret this as simping. Okay. Well, first of all, he shouldn't have done a fancy dinner date, so he definitely broke one of my rules there. You always just want to get drinks on a first date. But he did go on to mention that after paying for several dates with a specific girl, she said, I get it. You want to feel like a man. And that solidified it for him. He said, we have feminism. Girls want to see us as equals, so I give them the opportunity to have chips in the game. So when he responded to me, I asked him if he had ever pushed back when she said this. And he replied, I took it as honest feedback. And I never push back when a woman is honest with me, even through teasing. I tease her, she teases me. Now, I personally wouldn't have kneeled down to a woman simply because she's trying to be a tough guy and saying, I want to feel like a man. But this guy, he's from Serbia, and he says that he's giving women the chance to have chips in the game. But see, that is my big issue with that choice. That's the problem. Allowing women to lead, allowing her to set the standards. This is where feminism starts to creep in, even on a small scale like a date. It sets up a pattern for the relationship. If you let her lead on something like splitting the bill, it can lead to bigger things. So let's just go down the rabbit hole here. It could lead to letting her work while you stay home raising the kids, or letting her go on trips, business trips with male coworkers, or maybe even letting her have a boyfriend while you're cucked out sitting at home. Now, I know this sounds extreme, but look around. Look on Instagram and YouTube, everywhere. It happens more often than you think in this day and age. And it all starts with the boundaries that you set as a man and how you lead her from the very beginning. Now, I don't have anything against the guy who commented. He does seem like a nice guy, and he shared some useful insights. But I want to share with you how I would handle this situation, or these different situations. These are ways that have worked for me and the men that I have coached. So let's get into it, okay? So first of all, the man is the leader, and everything begins and ends with him. On a first date, this means that you need to establish from the start that you are leading. And what's a simple way to do this? Well, you pay for the date. If I'm taking her out, I'm going to pay. It's about respecting that tradition. It's leading the interaction and setting the tone for the rest of your relationship. So what do you do then if a girl offers to pay? Or like in the case of the guy who commented, she tests you with a line like, I get it. You want to feel like a man. How do you handle that kind of a response? Well, now there are some nuances here, and there are girls out there that are sweet. They're respectful, and they understand the value of $1, so she might offer to pay simply out of respect. And you'll get a sense of this if the date is going well. There's going to be good conversation that flows. Maybe there's some touching, maybe even a little kiss before the night is over. There's chemistry between the two of you, so sometimes she's going to offer to pay simply because she respects you and is starting to like you a bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then There are going to be times when the date stinks and didn't go well at all. And, not necessarily because you didn't get along, but just because there was no spark, no chemistry. Maybe you liked her a little bit, but she just was not into you. In these cases, a woman might offer to pay as a way of saying, I'm not interested. She's essentially distancing herself from you and signaling to you that there's no connection there. So how do you handle a girl wanting to pay like this? Okay, well, whether there's chemistry or not, you still lead. You don't give in to her leading, and you don't acquiesce. You always establish your leadership regardless of whether there will be a second date or not. Now, let's say that you've been seeing each other for a little while, okay? Maybe you're even in a relationship and the girl that you've been seeing genuinely wants to pay for something. Maybe it's a meal or an event, or maybe she wants to take you out on a trip, okay? In these cases, she's doing it out of love, so you don't have to be a hard ass and refuse. Let her do it. Graciously accept her gesture, because this is you allowing her to care for you, and you're rewarding her feminine instincts to nurture and be giving. It doesn't make you a simp or her a feminist if you do this, but on the first date, you want to get comfortable with leading, even in the face of a little bit of resistance. So what works for me when a girl wants to pay is simply to say something like this: it's okay, I got this. And you want to pay attention to your delivery. You look her in the eyes, you give her a little smile. It's okay, I got this. Don't just mumble it while staring at the bill, because I've seen guys go like, oh, it's okay, I got this, as if they're kind of like afraid of what she's going to say. If she insists and says, are you sure? Or no, it's okay, I got it. Then I'll respond by saying, I like that, I appreciate that, but I asked you out, so this one's on me, and you can get me a drink on the next one. It's a little joke, something fun, but a response like this acknowledges her gesture and it praises it. And you're also remaining firm in your leadership. You're aware of the situation, and you turn it into a moment of attraction because you held firm in your values rather than being rigid or uncomfortable. Now, if a woman tests you with a comment like, I get it, you want to feel like a man, like our guy earlier said, your response here again is key. Okay, this is the most important thing. I'd play it right back at her. So you can say something like, well, I certainly hope you don't feel like one, but maybe we should check. Or you could say, you can lean into it, or I absolutely do, and paying for this date will definitely help me feel like a man. So if she's poking fun at your masculinity, then just poke back. Be playful, have fun, but stay in control. You don't concede and let her lead, because if you give in and you say, oh, okay, yeah, sure, go ahead, you've just handed over the leadership, and no woman wants to lead. But they will test to see if you can handle leadership by saying things like that. And if you pass the test, she'll relax and let her feminine side come out, because she knows that, okay, this guy's confident and he's in charge. Now, if the woman is being super aggressive or makes a big deal about paying her half, even after you've insisted, then what this means is that she's disqualified herself from your nice treatment. And I want to make sure that you understand that stepping out of the way here, it does not mean that you are letting her lead or running the show. You're simply stepping out of the way and allowing her own mess to play out, okay? You let her stumble through her feminist ways, and you simply move on. You've got to remember that the man leads in all situations, whether the date is going well or not. And you do this you lead by staying cool, you're playful, and you handle the moment with charm and confidence. You're not a pushover, but you're also not rigid. You're clear, you're direct, and you're in control. And that's what makes you the type of masculine leader that she is looking for. So, if you want to learn more about how to be smooth, charming, and maybe a little dangerous, then download my free guide. It's the Gentleman's 12-Point Guide to Dropping Panties. And this guide is packed with the tools that you need to start owning your confidence and flipping those dynamics in your relationships. And if you're serious about leveling up even further and want to take it to the next step, then book a one-on-one coaching session with me. by clicking on the coaching links down below and booking a session that works best for you. All right, guys, that is it for this video. We will see you in the next one. Cheers.